Are you wanting high-speed internet but don't have access to PUD fiber? Try Sky-Fi high-speed wireless internet from LocalTel. Call 888-8888 today.
Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window where we saw a beautiful day today. Started off with lots of sunshine after that skiff of snow around the north central Washington area yesterday. And look at that shot from this afternoon. Crystal clear skies out there with temperatures today mainly into the lower 40s. Much the same for tomorrow with a few more clouds, but we do have some changes to tell you about as we come up on Wednesday, and that'll be Wednesday at least through probably Thursday. For us, it will mainly be a rain situation as the storm moves in, which will be on Wednesday into Thursday. We'll see some maybe rain mixed with snow showers around the area, and then a little bit more rain by the time the weekend rolls around. But I guess the good news in all this is our temperatures will climb back to normal, which for us is about 44 to 45 degrees. And we'll tell you much more about that coming up a little bit later on in our weather forecast. Now some of the news stories we're following for you tonight. A Moses Lake man who committed armed robbery was an easy capture for police officers yesterday afternoon. And the mystery-like tar substance that's been found on numerous vehicles traveling on Mission Ridge Road and Forest Ridge Drive will be the focus of Chelan County crews this week. But first, we begin tonight. An avalanche that is blocking both directions of State Route 20 just east of New Halem is about 300 feet wide and 25 to 30 feet high. Department of Transportation crews were preparing to clear the highway when the snow subsided. Both directions of State Route 20 North Cascades Highway are closed at milepost 123 due to that avalanche. This is just east of the town of New Halem in Whatcom County. The road was closed overnight and is not expected to be reopened until Wednesday. The weekend snow caused havoc in the Cascade passes with travel delays caused by numerous accidents and avalanche control operations. A Moses Lake man who committed armed robbery was an easy capture for police officers yesterday afternoon. Shortly before 4 p.m., Moses Lake officers responded to the 700 block of Dahlia for a report of a robbery that had just taken place. The victim told officers that he'd arrived home and found 28-year-old Todd Gremler inside his residence taking items. Gremler and the victim apparently know each other and live on the same property. Gremler told the victim he was there to recover mail that he believed the victim had stolen from him. When the victim confronted him and threatened to call police, Gremler allegedly pointed a gun at the victim. Gremler told the victim that he would get his phone back when Gremler got his mail back. Gremler then took several items belonging to the victim and went back to his residence, as I mentioned, located on that same property. Officers arrested Gremler within a few minutes and subsequently served a search warrant on his home. Officers recovered the firearm used, the victim's cell phone, as well as tools and fishing gear taken by the suspect. Gremler was booked into the Grant County Jail on charges of robbery first degree, burglary first degree, and assault second degree. The case is still under investigation, but there's no evidence to date that the victim had any of Gremler's property. A Tacoma woman was injured late last week in a one-vehicle accident near Ymca. Washington State Patrol says 34-year-old Vanessa Ingham was traveling south on Highway 97A 4 miles north of Ymca when she attempted to enter a corner, lost control, rotated sideways, and went off the highway. The car then went over railroad tracks and down an embankment, landing partially in the Columbia River. Another driver at the scene transported Ingham to Central Washington Hospital following the accident. State Patrol is still investigating both the cause of the crash and if any charges will be filed. A Washington cattlemen's group is howling mad over being left out of grant money to ease conflicts between wolves and cattle. Here's more on that story. 4 ranches and a new nonprofit have been awarded a total of $276,000 in state funds to protect cattle in Washington's wolf country with range riders and fences. Meanwhile, a proposal by the cattle producers of Washington, whose members include ranchers most affected by wolves, have been denied funding. The cattlemen propose collaborating with state and local officials to collar more wolves, more closely monitor packs, and more efficiently haze predators. 2 sheriffs and county commissioners in all 4 Northeast Washington counties endorsed the plan. The application, however, was opposed by the Department of Fish and Wildlife. Fish and Wildlife said the cattlemen's proposal wasn't in line with lawmakers' direction to use the money for community-based, non-lethal measures. Washington State Department of Fish and Wildlife did not have objections to funding the nonprofit group or individual ranches. The State Department of Agriculture will distribute the grants based on the recommendations of a 4-member panel representing conservation districts in Ferry, Okanagan, Stevens, and Pend Oreille counties. Fish and Wildlife already spends about $400,000 per year to help ranchers pay for non-lethal measures to guard livestock from wolves. The mystery tar-like substance that's been found on numerous vehicles traveling on Mission Ridge Road and Forest Ridge Drive will be the focus of Chelan County crews this week. The roadways, which were chip sealed back in August, will be scraped down to their subsurface and the debris will be hauled away. The road then will be sanded to cover any remaining oil. The scraping, which is typically done with a grader, will be completed as the weather allows. Scraping the roadway is not possible if it's covered in snow. Public Works began getting reports from motorists who traveled on Mission Ridge Road in early January that a sticky tar-like substance was on their vehicles. Forest Ridge Drive residents soon after reported similar problems. Crews have been brooming and sanding the roadway when weather allows. A representative of the company that supplies the oil for the county's chip sealing was on site recently, but was unable to identify the cause of the problem. Motorists in those areas can expect minor travel delays. Coming up next, Douglas County District Judge Judith McCauley says she'll retire from the bench effective May 1st, and we'll tell you about the 2018 Apple Citizen of the Year. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
My name's Robert Duff. Current and previous occupation is architect, engineer, and lawyer. Grew up here in Washington, born in Moses Lake. When I first came to CVCH, was looking for a place to get some dental work done. And I was really impressed with the people at the counter. I mean, they were just on top of it. It only took her like 15 minutes to do the job. I didn't feel anything. The technology is so great, you don't even realize you're at the dentist. These people are so professional. I would have any one of these people in my home for dinner. These people are family.
Lake Chelan mailboxes find solutions and the best price for all your shipping needs, including UPS, FedEx, and the U.S. Postal Service. We offer a variety of services including quality copies of all sizes, faxing, scanning, sending and receiving email, laminating, and notarizing. Enjoy browsing through our large selection of greeting cards. Lake Chelan mailboxes supports our military, fire victims, and our community. Come see us at the Plaza in Lake Chelan.
Papa Murphy's presents a fresh take on fresh. Here's the deal. If it comes from a freezer, not fresh. Box, not fresh. Bag, not fresh. Fresh means just chopped vegetables. Cheese grated by us daily. Fresh means we don't even have ovens, because you have an oven. So you can feel good about feeding it to your home bake our most popular pizza, a large cowboy, topped with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and olives. Just $12. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Welcome back. In another news, Leon Leidy hopes to replace his East Wenatchee police badge for a Douglas County Sheriff's badge. Leidy has formally announced his candidacy for the Sheriff's office. The former Washington State Patrol trooper brings over 30 years of law enforcement experience to the job. Leidy sat down with NCW Life News Director Steve Hare to discuss a range of issues, including his thoughts on how to deal with school violence.
I feel that we need to sit down and have some serious talks with our partners at East Wenatchee, the State Patrol, Wenatchee, Chelan County, we need to sit down at a table and talk about what we can do to make the schools safer. We need to protect our schools, protect our students, our teachers, and we have to have joint training together so we know it's one model. We can't do it ourselves. If we all get together, we have one model to go into a school, and if a situation arises, everybody knows what they're doing. And so you get people together, you get all your stakeholders, your business leaders, the neighbors from the schools, get together with them and tell them some of the things that we're going to have to do, what might happen if an active shooter is going on, where we might take the students and those things. We can't share everything, right. But getting business folks, the law enforcement, and I would like, there's a lot of options, whether you hire retired law enforcement officers to be put into these schools, you hire security, armed security. I mean, you have to sit down and talk with everybody. Everybody's got an idea. We put it all together, we come up with the best ideas we can.
Leidy is the second candidate to announce his candidacy. Douglas County Undersheriff Kevin Morse is also running as a Republican. You can watch Leidy's interview in its entirety on our website at ncwlife.com. Well, in a letter to Douglas County Commissioners last week, Douglas County District Judge Judith McCauley says she'll retire from the bench effective May 1st. The 72-year-old McCauley has worked for Douglas County for 38 years, 23 years as a district court judge, and 15 years as the county's first woman prosecutor. McCauley's 4-year term was due to end on December 31st, and a retirement in May allows the county commissioners time to appoint an interim judge until the November election. Any new judge elected in November would take office immediately under a short and full term clause in state elections law. The election winner would then commence a regular 4-year term starting January 1st. McCauley is the third judge to retire this year in the Wenatchee Valley, following in the footsteps of Chelan Superior Court judges Alicia Nakata and Chip Small. Todd Fryhofer has been named 2018 Apple Citizen of the Year. The Apple Blossom Festival's royalty queen Greta Wiersma and princesses Jessica Murray and Sophie Castilla, along with festival administrator Darcy Christofferson, surprised Todd with the award at a birthday party at his home. Fryhofer is a native of Wenatchee, having worked for several leading apple packing companies over the past 30 years. As president of the Washington State Apple Commission, Fryhofer has overseen the mass marketing of the state's signature fruit since 2008. He commented on that in an interview on the NCW Life channel.
I think most of it is apples are so good, and apples from Washington State are so good. We've really been blessed. I mean, when you look at, the soil content, the water, the sunshine, the low pest issues that we have here, we have the ability to grow a lot of good quality apples. That's always number one. The second issue that's out there that's probably the most consistent is the health message. An apple is good for you, rather than some snack or processed product. It's a health issue. So those are the things that we focus on in the international marketplace, because we are one of several in a category, so we try to differentiate ourselves.
The Apple Citizen of the Year Award began in 1981 to honor the roots of the festival and the leaders that make this the apple capital of the world. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come right here on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Blair from Works, your workout prescription. Have you ever started an exercise program and struggled to keep it going? So what if I told you that with this MyZone device, I could increase your chances of self-motivated exercise adherence by over 200%. Combine that with an exercise prescription specifically for your level of readiness, we'll increase it even more. And that's our new member success system. It's $99, it's exclusively at Works. It includes your MyZone belt. Works, yourworkoutrx.com.
How about having majestic mountains, a beautiful shoreline, and 26 acres of lush walking trails be the backdrop of your special event? Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp has cabins, meeting spaces, and a lodge with a kitchen that will accommodate large gatherings. Our staff at Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp will work with you to ensure that your wedding, retreat, class reunion, or birthday is amazing. Reserve your day today.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Monday. Let's start our weekend recap of sports with what happened on Friday. First, the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard in high school hoops action. In boys regional basketball play, Kittitas Thorpe had no trouble with Brewster, downing the Bears 78-37. Brewster will have to play a day one of the State B tournament in Spokane against Life Christian Academy Wednesday at 9 p.m. Also on Friday at Wenatchee High School, Friday Harbor ended Oroville's season. In the 1B boys regional Friday, Ymca Cooley Heartline fell to number 1 ranked Sunnyside Christian 55-36. The Warriors faced Tohola in the first round of State B at 2 o'clock on Wednesday. In the 1B regional girls action Friday, the Antioch Tigers advanced to State B tournament with a convincing 78-17 win over Riverside Christian. Natalia Paz scored 16 of her game-high 24 points in the third quarter to lead Antioch. The Tigers' defense was smothering, forcing the Crusaders into 30 turnovers on the night.
The high scorer for the night, 24 points, most of that coming in the third quarter for Natalia Paz. She says it's her defense that feeds her offensive game.
I've learned from my coach that defense is definitely the key to games. And I think just from my freshman year when she first started coaching me, that it just kind of developed off of that. I mean, it was just a lot of hard work that we put into practice. I mean, especially from coach pushing us to our hardest. It definitely paid off in the end, especially all the seniors and just these group of kids that are coming up. They're awesome.
Coach Lori Pipkin agrees that it's Natalia's defense that really helps to spur the team along.
She loves the game. I mean, she'll stand up with the coaches and kind of hear, see what we're talking about or whatever, and she's always in the gym, all the time, just practicing, getting ready, she wants to win so bad. Last year was a heartbreaker in that last game, so, she definitely wanted to make sure her senior year she can get to Spokane and stuff. And
for Coach Pipkin, she wants the Antioch Tigers not just to advance to the State B tournament, but to stay around for a few days.
I just want them for this to be able to experience, state, and I would really love to get that first win so that they could experience what I feel state is, which is more than just one game in Spokane, so yeah.
So the Tigers head to the State B tournament in Spokane after a big 78-17 win over Riverside Christian.
Moving on to Saturday's play as we open up the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard once again. As we look at the 2B regional in Yakima, Mabton bounced to Lake Roosevelt girls out of the tournament. At Wenatchee High School, the Brewster girls advanced to state with a 66-50 win over Mossy Rock. Brewster will face Napavine in the first round 2B game Wednesday at 12:15. The Pateros boys were knocked out of the 1B tournament with a loss to Nacelle. The 1B girls tournament saw Ymca Cooley Heartline fall to Pomeroy by 10, so ACH plays on the first day of the State B tournament in Spokane Wednesday against Tohola at 5:30. Moving on to the 1A regional, Cashmere took on Lakeside in a state seeding game.
The Cashmere Bulldogs notched another game in the win column Saturday at Wenatchee High School by knocking off Lakeside 70-43. The victory moves Cashmere into the quarterfinals of the State 1A tournament in Yakima and a 9 o'clock game against the winner of Wednesday's game between Nooksack Valley and Meridian. Haley Van Lith led the Bulldogs with 36 points, 12 of which in the first quarter.
I just think we knew we were going to come out with a lot of energy, but we didn't want that energy to overwhelm us and get us out of how we play best. So we were just really focused on coming out with a lot of energy, but still staying within ourselves.
Cami Kanishka scored all 9 of her points in the first quarter, all from three-point land. She said Cashmere had to adjust its defense to combat Lakeside's 6'2" forward Hallie Jensen, who scored 20 points.
They had a different kind of style than we do, so we just had to keep pressuring them, and they had a pretty good post that she was kind of killing us a couple times, but we stayed together like always and got the win.
Cashmere improved to 21-1 on the season with a win, but Darnell says you couldn't tell it by seeing the girls after the ball game.
I walk in the locker room, and our locker room's dead quiet. I mean, they're not celebrating in there, and they know we didn't play well. And I told them that's the great thing about our team and our expectation level of winning is we win by 27, and we're disappointed.
Van Lith says the drive to succeed comes from losing to Mount Baker by 1 point in last year's championship.
We never wanted to feel that feeling again. That was just heartbreaking. And we lost a lot of seniors, and we'll never get that team back, but we have an opportunity with this team, and I think we really know like how important and special it was to be in that spot. And we know how it feels to lose, and we don't want to feel that again, so we have a lot of drive inside of us not to ever let that happen again. So I think we're going to make sure we take special care of that opportunity.
Cashmere will get to make the first step on that opportunity Thursday night at 9 o'clock in the Sundome. I'm Eric Grandstrom for NCW Life Channel Sports.
And Cashmere will play the winner of Wednesday's matchup between Nooksack Valley and Meridian. In the 4A tournament, both Davis and Sunnyside boys lost their regional games over the weekend. The Pirates will face Curtis in Tacoma Wednesday, while Sunnyside takes on Lewis and Clark. The Moses Lake girls remain undefeated by downing Woodinville. Pretty close game on Friday. Chiefs move on to the state 4A quarterfinals. They'll play the winner of Wednesday's game between U-High and Bellarmine. Well, the biggest game of the season for the Wenatchee Wild came on Friday night in Vernon, BC, where the Wild took on the Venom in a battle for the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Wenatchee had a great start, but then cooled off as Vernon came storming back. Art Ecker had the call on the Wenatchee Wild Hockey Network, video courtesy of Hockey TV.
Top of the far circle. Stick handles in, shot blocked, gets his own rebound back, spins and he scores! Vanderbeck got his own rebound, spun and flung it at the net, ripped it high, top corner, swatted right out of the way before Morton could finish it off. There's another shot, save made. Puck still loose, Morton chance at it, rebound, score! Zach Galambus puts it home. Kerry Manis swings it to Williamson. Back up top of the far circle, Judson shot, save, rebound, score! And banked off the boards. Here's Lambert. He's got help with Mokatari up the middle. He's in. Shot. Oh, what a stop made by Isley. Gets slipped out front. And Lansdell able to sky it through center. Kerry Manis will chase after it. He comes in from a tough angle. He's in. Shot. Score. And rattles into the near corner. Back up top left point. Upberg. That shot through traffic. Score. And it's fed over on the left wing for Souders. He plows into the zone. He's in, he shoots, he scores! Lucas Souter with a shot from a tough angle down at the bottom of the left circle. 10 seconds left. The Wild have to hustle. They're not going to have time. He peels back in his own end. And that's going to be it. They just run out of time.
So the Wild finished up the season on Saturday in Penticton. Nothing really to play for. They fall by a final of 5-1 on Saturday. So Wenatchee is the number 3 seed heading into the postseason tournament. They'll host number 6 seed Merritt in the first round of the BCHL playoffs. Thursday night, Town Toyota Center. The puck will drop at 7:05 for Game 1 and Game 2 on Saturday. Best of 7 series will then shift to Merritt for Games 3, 4, and if necessary 5. March 6th, 7th, and possibly 9th. The series, if it goes to Games 6 and 7, would be back in Wenatchee March 11th and 12th. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. Students in Washington State have launched a social media campaign to address gun violence in schools following the shooting at a South Florida high school. The campaign, Will My School Be Next?, focuses on the state legislature and calls for an effort to address gun violence in schools. Undergrad student Gracie Anderson started the campaign after she felt desensitized to gun violence in schools and angry with the lack of action.
Instead of cycling back into my kind of normal grieving and sadness and fear for myself, I kind of just became angry and frustrated that adults hadn't taken any action to prevent the tragedy from happening. And so I decided to start the Will We Be Next or Will My School Be Next campaign. And so the idea is part of it's a social media campaign. You hold up a sign that says Will Blank Be Next. You fill in the blank with either the name of your school or someone who's close to you that is in schools. Post it on social media with the hashtag Will We Be Next and tag us at Will We Be Next on any platform. And this really came from a place of concern, and I think I'm just really sick of the politics of it all. And so I want the Washington State Legislature to put politics aside and make a difference in our schools.
Anderson says the group aims to encourage civic engagement in young people and hopes to gain the attention of lawmakers.
And we are also putting together a task force of students to come together, do research, collect data, analyze previous research, and see if we can find what the best policy solutions are. So we're going to analyze things. We're going to analyze things like armed guards in school. We're going to analyze things like military-grade weapons bans, and we're going to see what could actually make a difference and give that to the state legislature. I just learned that in Washington State, you can run for state-level office when you turn 18 years old. And so what I can tell you is in 5 years, I imagine that these same students who are leading this fight, all of us kids who are demanding that change happens, I can see us taking those positions, running for office, making a difference that way. I can tell you that as soon as we're all eligible to vote, because so many of these kids are under 18 years old. I just voted in my first election. We're going to be able to make concrete policy change because we're going to be electing officials that actually represent us.
And for more information on the social media campaign, visit willwebenext.com. Well, we'll be back in just a moment with a look at your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Ready Medi is healthcare made simple and affordable. We are the only direct primary care practice that provides personalized and holistic health care in North Central Washington. Our wellness model not only helps prevent heart attacks and strokes, but we also optimize hormones. Affordability is our goal. For example, hip surgery locally is $45,000, whereas our members have the same access for $15,000. Ready Medi, healthcare made simple and affordable.
Yes, we are live from Studio 2. And I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We got news, we got sports, we got weather, we got obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays. Tom Potter joins me in studio. How are you? And Rod Cool is my guest today. The expert is Bonnie Orr. We're broadcasting live from Studio 4, from Studio 2, Studio 7 here in downtown Wenatchee. Time for the obscure holiday of the day. Your dog to work day. Beautician's Day. It's National Selfie Day, and in honor of National Selfie Day, I'm going to take a picture of myself.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Mornings at 7 o'clock on the NCW Life channel.
Time now to take a look at that local North Central Washington weather forecast. A quick look outside our weather window once again. We got to show this. It was so beautiful today with temperatures in the mid-40s, lots of sunshine. We did see some windy conditions at times, but I think all in all, most of us will take this weather for the end of February. As we take a look at our satellite picture, it's indicating an upper level weather trough that's descending into the region from the Gulf of Alaska. That happened this morning. Skies remain sunny throughout the day today, though, and will remain mostly sunny for Tuesday as well. Afternoon high temperatures were in the low 40s today, and we'll climb to about the mid 40s by tomorrow. Keep in mind 45 as our normal high temperature for this time of year. By midweek, though, that upper level trough will swing through north central Washington, increasing our chance for rain mixed with snow to 50%, with a 60% chance of rain on Wednesday night. A warm southwest flow of moisture will be our weather feature from Thursday through Saturday, with about a 30% chance of rain and mild afternoon high temperatures, mainly in the mid-40s. By Sunday, a ridge of high pressure develops off the Pacific coast, which will bring us clearing skies, light winds, and temperatures about where we should be for this time of year, into the mid and upper 40s. Let's take a look at that forecast now. Tonight, we will drop down to a mild low of 15 degrees. I'm not sure that is the right forecast or not. It looks like tomorrow we'll see a high temperature of about 45. That is the wrong 7-day forecast, by the way. As I mentioned, though, temperatures will stay basically in the mid 40s throughout the week. Our best chance for moisture will be on Wednesday and Thursday, and by the time we get into the weekend, we're looking at about a 30% chance of showers. Once again, temperatures this weekend into the middle 40s. And I do want to remind you, if you have a video of the day you'd like to see on the NCW Life Evening News, message us on our Facebook page at the NCW Life channel. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with your host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
Stay up to date with what's happening in North Central Washington. Go to the NCW Life Community Calendar at ncwlife.com.